Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the lovely Lost Mine podcast. As always, I am joined by my excellent co-host, Mr. Lucas Oldale. How is Mr. Lucas Oldale doing today?
I'm doing quite good, quite well. We just had a big practice thing yesterday.
We did. We practiced for quite some time
9
yesterday.
hours,
about
I think.
9 hours. Sounds about right. We had, I think, with 6 people over here. We're playing. We had Caitlin, Renge, Mark, my girlfriend Rowan, who's also coming to the regional, and me and Lucas. Yeah, she was in Portland last year. She claims it's the only reason I won that event, so yeah, she's still there. So, but yeah, we tested yesterday. We didn't go to league like we usually do on Wednesdays.
I went to a cup on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, I skipped that one.
But I did terribly. 1-2, let's go.
Nice, yeah. I forget what I was doing that day. Oh yeah, I was gonna go to my grandparents' house, but then I worked the night before and I slept for like an hour. So then I was like, I'm just gonna go home and go to bed. So I slept instead of playing Pokemon cards. That was pretty sick. But anyways, on today's pod, we're going to be doing a Portland tier list, kind of similar to the one we did with San Antonio, just without the guests this time, because this one was a little more last minute. We didn't quite have the same time to plan the guests.
Sorry that the pod is late.
Yeah, we were testing yesterday, and then last night we were like, yeah, we should record it. And then we're like, actually, we could just go to bed and record in the morning. So yeah, we also, if you haven't watched already, we have the Victory Road series up now. One of our friends, Brad, has all the recording equipment and edit it for us, like live games with commentary. So that is possibly going to be recurring. We have like 6 or 7 matches that'll be
9 matches.
9 matches. We're going to go over there, me and Lucas, today and record some more of them.
Oh, 8 matches.
But yeah, anyways, there's recorded live matches from the testing tournament ran here. Well, I wasn't here. They ran at the Oldale household last week. So watch out for some live gameplay with commentary. But today we're just going to be going over that tier list. We're going to talk about Codebreaker Solution because we forgot that card last week, and then we have our regular sequencing segment. Unless you have anything else to say, Lucas, I think we are ready to get going on that stuff.
I got nothing.
Boom.
No,
Oh dear.
You messed it up. No.
Oh man,
Lucas
has got to do this.
Turn off the big webcam. It's fine. Wow.
Okay. So yeah, we noticed we missed this card last week. It got Codebreaker Solution.
This card's insane.
It's not insane. It's similar to a card we had before, Mallow. It's just search your deck for 2 cards, put them on the top of your deck, shuffle the rest of your deck. And it's also a future supporter. So, I mean, this when it saw play first was usually with like Zorark, just because you could play the supporter and then immediately get the 2 cards into your hand. So maybe like a similar thing with like Refinement Curlia. Maybe you see play with like Bibarel.
Yeah.
Pukamuku exists. That'd be kind of a sick combo. That will rotate though. I think that's Infusion.
That
straight.
will, yeah. That's Infusion.
But yeah, I think this card will. I talked to this Angie about this last night. The thing I said last week about the Fluttermane, I think this card will have a limitless page. Is going to be one of my favorite ways to evaluate cards moving forward. I think this card will most definitely have a limitless page.
I think this card will be like a quite good card.
Yeah, I think this card will have multiple limitless pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just going to need to play this with
higher
other draw
or lower,
effects.
5 limitless
Maybe
pages.
this plays higher than 5 for sure. I think this is going to be like a staple in some archetypes.
Yeah, like anything that is like draw.
Yeah, like
Goldango.
Goldango wouldn't be good with this.
Yeah.
I mean, Goldango sucks, unfortunately.
Anything that has like a draw a limited amount of cards ability will just play Codebreaker.
Yeah, so
something like Curlia and Bibarel.
Yeah, Bibarel Squovit, I think that's a combo that could play this. Yeah,
and we're also going to see more
Goldango.
Draw effects like those cards later on. And
totally. Yeah, this card will be good throughout its lifetime. Also, Iono proofing is a big thing with this.
Yeah.
You can just set the top 2 cards of your deck to be like Boss Energy or something. So
yeah.
They go to Iono, you're like, oh, that does not work. So, yeah, I think this card has more utility, especially with the Boss thing. I totally forgot about that. Or the Iono thing. Same as like Marnie proofing with the Rangaroo and stuff.
You could even just play like one of this in a random deck.
Yeah, no, this would be... No, now that I'm thinking about this with Iono, I think this has more applications than just in Curlia decks.
Higher or lower, 10 limitless pages.
Oh, higher. I think this is going to be like this isn't like a tech card. This is just going to be a good supporter in a lot of different lists.
No, this is just a one-of that just says Iono proof.
Yeah, I'm curious if the future tag is ever going to matter on these kind of supporters.
Probably will. I would be confused on why they wouldn't print
Tell me why
something.
they print a tag call that got any tag team card, and they print a Techno Radar that's just Pokemon. Techno Radar would be broken, though, if it was any... Like, if you could get this off of Techno Radar, whew.
I mean, honestly, that'd be kind of sick.
It'd be cooking. But
I miss tag call. That
card was sick. I did like some tag call action. Lucas, do you have anything else to say on Codebreaker Solution?
No.
Yeah, I think we said what we needed to say about it.
Yeah. And then you click F11. Oh, you got out of it in a different way.
And then we're going to go with the sequencing segment next here. We're just going to get this kind of all out of the way before the tier list. This week, we're doing a Kyogre Lawson. Here, maybe I'll move our faces just for this specific segment here. Just
you
like
can't. Nope.
Oh.
That's not how. You gotta. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Can you do it then?
Yes, it's fine. Oh my gosh.
I claimed to know what I was doing earlier, but I see. Okay. I just wanted to move it away from our hands here. Okay. So yeah, this week for the second segment is gonna be Ogre. I think this is the list pretty close to what Tord was playing in Stuttgart. This really intrigued my interest yesterday. I was like kind of considering jumping ship from Rapid Strike and just playing this because it has great matchups. But I don't know if I want to put myself through Kyogre like 2 days before the event. But yeah, the only list I think I made from that list is I cut conveniently the Ultra Ball Nest Ball for an Ultra Ball here because I like being able to. There's playing Fish and trying to find your 1-up Tina V-Star is important. So Ultra Ball being a Pokestoppable thing to find those with felt good. So yeah, we'll just go through it. First decision obviously is going to be flower selecting. I just put a little text so we didn't have so many screenshots. This flower selecting was a choice between Nest Ball and Super Rod. Sucks throwing a Super Rod. This list plays 3 rods, so I'm usually pretty comfortable getting rid of the first rod and the first recycler in this list because you really only need 2 rod and 1 recycler if you're going to Kyogre, and also recycling things is important with rod. Yep. But we needed a setup here, so I chose the Nest Ball so I could get the Greninja. Yeah, Greninja. We already have the Ultra Ball in hand, but there's not really 2 cards I want to discard. Like, that Kyogre is the first one that I'm happy to like kind of get rid of because using Kyogre at the end of the game usually involves a Super Rod anyways. So you could go like Rod for Kyogre plus 2 energy, Nest Ball for Kyogre, gate the 2 energy, then play Recycler.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty think that Kyogre doesn't really matter that it's discarded, but the Nest Ball not having to discard anything is pretty sick. So yeah, we went with that.
And the opening hand for anyone who didn't.
Oh yeah, listeners, I'm terrible at this.
Comfey, Kyogre, Recycler, Rope, Ultra Ball, 2 cards, and a Dark Energy.
And then we flower selecting picked Rod or Nest Ball. We picked Nest Ball. So next screenshot here. Is after our flower selecting. This next flower selecting, we used an escape rope notably. Holding your switch carts into others' Lost Zone decks is very important.
Because of Sableye damage.
Yeah, Sableye damage, like Cram poking into things as well. Like a lot of the time you'll try and... This actually will come up later in this segment, promoting Greninja and taking a Cram hit. But this next flower selecting was Roaring Moon versus Switch Cart. I actually thought about this for a while, because if... I was playing this blind. Lucas is my opponent here. Is playing Tina, so having the Roaring Moon is obviously very important in that matchup. If it was like something like Sablezard and I knew that, totally I can get rid of Roaring Moon. But I think the risk of like binning it and that being Tina, it's so much more likely to be Tina than like Sablezard. And even if it's like a Roaring Moon, Iron Hands, Lost Zone deck, then you still need Moon to answer their stuff. If they're gonna push an Iron Hands on you, then you need your Moon to kill their hands or their Moon. So it sucked getting rid of the switch cart, and I thought about it for a while, but I think you just needed to take the Moon there.
Notably, using flower selecting before Nest Ball.
Yeah, just because I'm trying to hit more Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's debatable. Like, I want to hit Colress as well, but like...
You can hit Colress next turn. You're just trying to get
I have a lot of digs for it, and like, especially in these Lost Zone mirrors where you're kind of expecting to maybe get crammed out of a Comfey early, you do actually need to set up more of a board presence. It's like, Lucas didn't end up cram hitting me this game, but just the possibility of it happening is pretty high, so you need to kind of play around that. So yeah, we took Roaring Moon off of this. So next screenshot is after I used concealed cards. So I discarded our 1 Dark Energy, and what did I draw?
Gate and Chorus? You drew Chorus.
Yeah,
did you draw Gate?
Gate Chorus.
Gate Chorus.
Yeah, so...
Wait, did you?
I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, we concealed cards away the Dark, drew Roaring Moon and Mirage Gate. So this hand obviously is looking very strong now that we have the Chorus. And after this, I just passed. It's worth maybe considering benching the Kyogre, but we're not. It's like only way to like consider that if you have Ogre active Ninja on bench. This is to like stop Cram from taking a KO turn 1. But I'm very likely. I think I did end up Ultra Balling with the Kyogre next turn for the Cramorant, and yeah, I already have a 70 hit pointer in the active. I'm not gonna burn a switch cart and then burn another switch cart to move the Ogre just to stop a 110. But yeah, the next screenshot here is just Lucas playing out his turn. Played an escape rope, and I think this is a very important decision to make into other Lost Zone decks and just other decks in general, like what you promote off escape rope. I chose at the end to promote Comfey because Tina doesn't always hit the spit. I mean, it looked like Lucas was going to hit the spit innocently here, but spitting in this like against Tina with the Ogre, a lot of the time you're setting up damage. You're not going into Roxanne range, and you're staying above 4. So if Lucas is taking prize cards before me, then he's not able to counter catcher, and I don't play counter catcher either. So like, letting my Comfey die here is fine. Lucas ended up Abyss Seeking. The issue with promoting Radiant Greninja is if he doesn't cram hit me, then I basically just have to burn a switch cart for nothing. And I was like, just kind of looking at the way Lucas's turn went here, and like,
you knew that I didn't Colress before flower selecting.
Yeah, so like
meant that
I knew he doesn't
had
have
to have hit Colress off of flower selecting.
Yeah, I should have said that more. Lucas said that well. Yeah, like it's kind of a close decision, but I chose to just put up Comfey, and then Lucas ended up going with Abyss Seeking, so it did save me a switch card. But in the event Lucas did cram hit me, it would have obviously been nice to let the Ninja take the 110 and then switch card it off, because then you're not letting them take a free prize, and it doesn't stifle your setup with Comfeys, because I only really want 2 Comfeys in play at a time, so I don't get like Radiant Greninja back to back. So having to bench multiple is pretty annoying. But yeah. Next screenshot, it shows...
Having to bench multiple Comfeys? Having to bench multiple Comfeys?
What do you mean? I don't know. So yeah, Lucas just went for Abyss Seeking, and then this is our hand. What did we draw for turn?
I think we drew a Dark Energy. We
do Dark Energy for turn. So for listeners, our hand now, turn 2 is Kyogre, Roaring Moon EX, Colress's Experiment, Energy Recycler, Ultra Ball, 2 Switch Cart, Mirage Gate, Dark Energy. What
do you think the goal of this turn is for you?
The goal of this turn, I would really like to hit 110 damage on Lucas's active, because what I really like in this matchup is damaging Tina V's, like if they go Abyss Seeking, because you want to take 2 prize cards, so you only can get Iono'd, and then you have the out of Ogring, especially if your opponent puts 2 Tina V's in play, Ogring both the Tina V's for 4 prizes, or you can just take 3 prizes off the Ogre.
Yeah. So what do you think of Moonlight Shuriken here?
I don't like it.
Why not?
I think you're overextending. Like, you could Shuriken both the bench, but like then all you do, you just literally go draw Abyss Seeking, and then it doesn't matter.
It does, because then I Roaring Moon, and then I'm on 2, you're on 4, and you're on 2, I'm on 4, and then I could Roxanne you, and then I just have the entire rest of the game to eat. Right?
Maybe I'm playing this incorrectly, but I basically never go into Roxanne range against Tina, because then I feel like I'm just playing mirror match, but they're playing 2 Roxanne and an Iono, and I'm not playing any hand disruption. So I've been staying above 4 basically the entire game until like the very last turn, until my deck is so thin that I know if I get Roxanne, it's basically like I will draw out of it.
It's irrelevant.
I don't usually go into 4 range. I'll just spread with Sableye, especially if they ever bench lock themselves. They shouldn't be bench locking themselves if they're playing correctly. But I mean, you kind of almost bench select yourself in this game, Lucas.
Yeah.
Because you like have to bench a Sableye, really, on this board, and if I just don't take a KO, I love leaving their board full. Like, I don't use Shuriken that much in like other Lost and Mirrors, but maybe that's just me playing incorrectly. I don't know. But anyways,
because being able to Sableye 60/60 on both Comfey is pretty valuable.
Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't, but yeah, I mean maybe it's right. But I really like poking Tina's because then it forces you to evolve.
No, I'm not saying you have to Moonlight Shuriken. Yeah, poking Tina's and doing like 60/60 to Comfeys, and then just taking.
I thought you meant Shurikens. Okay, yeah, 60/60 is good. But anyways, maybe we should talk about the sequencing here.
Yeah.
So my general rule of sequencing, especially if you're playing Pokestop, I think we've said this before, is Pokestop, concealed cards, colorist, flower selectings, least choices to most choices.
I'm honestly starting to. No.
Unless you're gonna be thinning cards that turn, like if you're like turn 1 and you have Vip in hand, I would play Vip before you Pokestop.
It goes thin. In most situations, it would go thin, Pokestop, concealed cards, colorist, Comfey.
Yeah.
And then and I was about to say something along the lines of Pokestop last though, but then I realized, oh wait, it's least decisions to most decisions. So the only decision of Pokestop is am I using it?
Yeah.
Concealed cards is what energy am I discarding? Colress is you're keeping 60% of the cards, and Comfey is you're keeping 50% of the cards.
Yeah, so that's why I do it in that order. And then the only caveat is if you are like going to be thinning cards that turn with the cards you draw off of concealed cards, flower selecting, Colress, like turn 1 with Vips is thinning a pretty meaningful amount of cards. Then I would consider delaying the Pokestop if you had to have it all at once. But here we started the turn off with concealed cards.
Yep.
So we drew Vip
and Boss.
Vip Boss, yeah. And then I went for our Colress, and then our next screenshot is just the Colress choices. So the Colress was Comfey, Sableye, Palpad, Water. I chose to ditch both Comfey, get Sableye, Palpad, Water. I, at this point, am getting pretty close to 10 in zone. I think, I don't have a way of checking.
6 at the end of the
6. I don't mind being on 6, because I'm not really getting hand disrupted here until late game, and I pretty easily, like, you can call, like, basically what I'm saying is why I'm ditching 2 Comfeys could be risky, is if Lucas chooses to Shuriken both of them. not only does Lucas have to expend quite a bit of resources as Tina to Shuriken here, he also, if he's Shurikening, then like, I have just Colress chain pretty easily, especially with the Palpad. Now that I have Colress, and then you can Palpad double Colress back, you're pretty easily, if you're not getting hand disrupted, able to chain Colress into Colress. And once I'm at 6, I don't really care about Comphase anymore because I can just Colress and Colress back into 10. So that's kind of been my experience with playing around, like, keeping a Comphase here, considering, like, if I get both mine wiped and I want another one, I don't usually want another one, because then it just makes Lost Mine, like, really bad into your board if your board is, like, Cram Ninja plus, like, a 2-prizer or something. So yeah, that's my unless you disagree with me binning 2 Comphase there.
I mean, probably me. I'm just a scaredy cat, so I'd probably keep 1 Comphase. But
yeah, I think like you could consider putting the water back for Comphase, but
yeah,
Palpad is almost like better Comphase.
Yeah, in a lot of situations. Because
you're
it's just Iono-proofing you.
Yeah, it puts the Colress back in deck, and then just lets you chain Colress really easily. Yeah. So, yeah, the Palpad's really nice, actually.
The only thing is I might consider getting rid of water energy for Comphase because I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah, but I really value just having water energies. And
yeah, honestly, that makes sense. I think that's probably the better play. It's just really aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it aggressive. I don't know.
It is kind of aggressive because then you're not putting any more Comphase down. You're just relying on, like, Colress into attacker.
I really enjoy endgames where, like, when we were testing yesterday, I think it was me against you, when I think my board was literally Radiant Greninja and Cramorant.
Yeah, and that won him the game.
Yeah, because then Lost Mine does nothing other than take a 1 prize, and then when I have switch carts, like, I really like to hold my switch carts as much as possible in these matchups. You can, like, do multiple switch carts in a turn, heal the damage, make Lost Mine only take 1 prize, and then I'm really able to force Lucas to go through all 6 Pokemon.
It makes Sableye irrelevant.
Yeah, but then our last 2 choices here, I didn't take separate screenshots for it, but our first flower selecting was Psychic plus Colress choice. I took the Colress, hadn't binned any Psychic energies yet, and...
How many Psychic energy do you play?
2 Psychics, only one is none are prized. So it's kind of tough to take the Colress, but, like, we have 2 Recycler left, so I'm not really worried about that. And we haven't played any Gates yet, so...
I guess.
We only play 1 Sableye as well, so anytime you're recycling Sableye, you can recycle the energy as well, because you're not going to be able to use Psychic without recycling the Sableye, so I think that's fine.
True.
And then our second flower...
yeah, you only play 1 Sableye, right?
Yeah, it's 1 Sable.
Yeah,
so
okay, never mind, you're fine.
Anytime you're Lost Mining, again, you have to play a Rod, so yeah, you could get back the Psychic anyways.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And then our second selecting was Lightning versus Hisui. I knew I didn't prize any relevant Pokemon.
So, just easy Lightning.
Pretty easily take the Lightning energy. And then we played a Switch Cart and an Attach Retreat here to get our Cram in the active and spit the Tina V, just like we wanted.
How did you get 2 flower selectings here?
Comphase was active. Flower selecting,
Oh,
Attach Retreat, Switch Cart.
Oh, this is after. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, ended the turn with Spit Innocently for 110 into Tina. And then, we were pretty well poised in this game. I find that, like, especially Lucas, like, if Lucas wants to answer this Cramorant on this board, actually, I think you shouldn't have benched second Tina V here. You have to bench lock yourself and put Cram down.
Or I can just shred for 160.
I guess you could shred. Yep. I don't know.
That might be weird.
Maybe consider not putting down second Tina V here.
But
anyways, that's the sequencing segment for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed.
Haven't played Lost Box in a while. Cut me some slack.
That's okay. Can you move our face back down? I'm not going to try and mess with it.
You're good.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
So Portland, our thoughts, our tier list here. I like the way of doing tier lists. I find it's just kind of like a really organized way to do things.
And it's like pretty simple too.
Yeah.
It's easy on us and it gets a lot of our thoughts down.
Yeah, it's a pretty efficient way to just get our snapshot. So I think let's start with Charizard.
Let's start with Goldango.
I don't want to start. We're really going to start with Goldango. Straight up, I wish it was F tier. People have been hyping the Goldango Palkia thing. I think that is like maybe playable because
that is like maybe C tier.
Yeah, maybe C tier. If it gets a day 2 placement this weekend, maybe I'll put it in C tier, but I don't think it will. If for anyone that hasn't seen the new Goldango archetype, it's playing like Palkia V-Star, Radiant Greninja, and Goldango. So the theory is like, remember how I was saying a while ago that Goldango, the reason it's not good is a 2-prize beat stick without any like catch up. Like your only 1-prizer is maybe Scizor if you're not playing Water Energies, but now. You have Radiant Greninja.
One of the best 1-prizes to ever be printed.
Yeah, so like you have the same kind of trick as old Palkia lists where you have Cologne, Cross Switcher, bring up the Manaphy, like the huge combo, 90-92 things with Manaphy in play, catch up. It's good against other 1-prize decks. But all that falls apart when you realize your draw support is drawing 1 card per EX you have in play.
And you get concealed, so like there's a decent amount.
You draw like 5 cards a turn for setting up.
Is the 60 playing Pokestop Worker?
It is.
Then that's fine. So you go Pokestop
Okay,
Worker.
what's your
Pokestop.
turn 1 though? Like you don't have research. So you remember when we played Pokestop Zard and the hands were just like
What is this?
Yeah. You're like, sure, in theory you have like Pokestop, Worker, play another Pokestop, do all this like draw.
Man,
but your turn 1,
Pokestop
if your hand does not contain like a VIP pass, then you're just kind of screwed.
Yeah.
It's just a pile, and your best draw supporter is Worker. So have fun when your opening hand sucks. Is all I have to say.
Yeah. I could consider putting Goldango in C tier though.
I still refuse until unless it like wins the regional. I don't know. You cannot convince me. Funny story of Goldango. Ken, friend of the podcast, had 3 deck lists at a challenge last week, and I picked a random one. I picked Goldango, and he like sulked into his chair. And he proceeded to go 2-3 because Goldango was bad. But anyways, I don't have any sure there's the new style of Goldango deck.
And
that
I mean
in
it's
Japan.
playable, but there's better decks.
There are just better decks to play. I'd like to start with Charizard. I think Charizard is easy S tier. It won the last regional. It was S tier for San Antonio in our old tier list. I think the big thing with Charizard though is I think Guardy kind of has an opportunity to creep back in. As much as I don't like the idea of playing Guardy myself, I know people that do. I don't really encourage people to play this deck. But if Charizard lists have decided that 1 Lost City is acceptable, then you have no Gardevoir matchup anymore. So
Gardevoir actually does not look like a bad pick going into the tournament.
Yeah, I mean you get your Charizard matchup back because if it was me playing Zard, I'd still be playing 3 Lost City and just find a way to collapse somehow because you need collapse just 2. But I don't think as a Charizard player I would be comfortable just throwing my Guardy matchup out the window.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be either.
I
like Landon's way of thinking about it. Can I win the tournament without hitting a Gardevoir?
Yeah, that's like what I was talking to people about testing yesterday. You're not winning the regional without hitting a Gardevoir. It's not happening. I mean, it's possible, but through 15 rounds of Swiss and 3 top cut rounds, you're going to hit Gardevoir. Especially if you hit it in top cut, then you're kind of screwed. Because then it's just like...
Then you're hitting a good player.
Yeah, you're hitting a good player that's playing Gardevoir, then you're out of the tournament. Like, sure, in Swiss you could take a loss to Guardy, that's fine. But there's no taking losses in top cut. Then you're out of there. So, I think Charizard lists... They could kind of get away with Lost City last weekend, or in San Antonio, being like a lesser count because Guardy wasn't very hyped. But I think Guardy players see that, recognize that, and realize that if people are playing the same list as Azul's crew, Guardy's just going to clobber them because they have 0 outs to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Charizard, I'm not really going to spend too much other thoughts than that. I just think that it's interesting seeing Lost City counts go down.
So let's go ahead and put Tina in S tier as well.
Tina S tier? Are we really doing this? I don't know if it's S tier. I mean, sure. I'll humor Lucas.
There's no way it's not S tier.
I think Kyogre is better than Tina.
That's wild. That's a wild take.
I think it's better play. But,
okay, then put Kyogre in S tier.
I don't know. I don't think it's really S tier. I don't think either of these decks are S tier.
You think Tina's A?
I think Tina's the top A deck. That's my opinion. We'll reevaluate later.
Then put Kyogre in S tier.
We're talking about Tina. Okay. Why do you think Tina is an S tier? I'm curious. I mean, obviously a good deck.
You're just a Lost Zone 2-price beat stick deck that plays Path Roxanne. That's just a tale as old as time. You take a good Charizard matchup.
But are you saying Tina's older than time?
Yeah.
Sheesh, bro.
It's the antimatter god, so it's fine. That would be Palkia.
Yeah,
Palkia is the time god.
Palkia
is
the time god.
Yeah, we have Palkia on the list. So I think Tina takes a very strong Snorlax matchup, which I mean is obvious, and Snorlax is seeing a bit of hype going into the weekend. It takes a strong Zard matchup. Your other matchups are just all fine. Your other matchups are all 50-50. Your Miraidon Flaffy matchup is fine. Your Miraidon matchup is fine. Your Lost Box Zard matchup is fine. A lot of your matchups are just fine. It's like Arc Intel.
Yeah,
in
fine matchups is a way to describe it.
2021 season, I played it, and you just go in with I'm 50-50ing everything in this format, and I'm just going to outskill my opponent.
Skill diff them.
Yeah.
Broken.
And Tina's literally the equivalent of a skill diff deck. You have to play the deck really well to do well. So if a good player plays Tina, they can easily win the event.
I do also really like Tina. I think Path to the Peak is obviously very strong. It's probably the premier Path deck now. I don't know, maybe Mew is a bit better, but I think Mew is lower on the tier list, so maybe that settles that. But Tina's always been strong. We've been saying it's good literally every week since the podcast started. Over 2 months ago, by the way. This is episode 10.
Ow, my forearm still hurts.
Yeah, Tina's good. It takes like even matchups into mostly everything. I don't really think what does Tina even have a bad matchup to? I mean, maybe Rapid Strike, but even that's pretty close.
Yeah, Rapid Strike matchup's close, especially if they play it badly.
Excuse me.
If they play it badly, it's pretty bad. But
yeah,
like,
but anyway, what else are we gonna say about
a
Tina?
good Intel Urshifu player will just wait till the correct time to take prizes. Like they're not just gonna willy nilly take prizes.
Yeah.
I've realized
we'll
that
talk about Urshifu on the Urshifu thing here.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Tina? There's so many decks.
Not really. No.
Okay.
Good deck.
Yeah, Tina's a good, like, 50-50 deck. You're going to be in for a long tournament, announcing a lot of flower selectings. It's going to be a rough go if you're not into that kind of thing. But
Roaring Moon's B tier, in my opinion.
Yeah. We've seen, like, just kind of middling results from Roaring Moon, like, the whole format. I remember at the very beginning it was super hyped. We were super hyped on it. But I think Miraidon kind of just occupies that aggressive space a bit better.
It's just better.
Hands is broken. Hands is very good, especially going hands on turn 1, going second very consistently now that Peony is the common tech.
Yeah.
Moon just kind of takes a backseat. So, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Like you kind of have bad matchups into everything for the most part, but you're just more consistent. So that's the idea. But Miraidon is just like the better deck.
Are Liz still playing the Crosswitcher Cologne?
I don't know. I honestly,
I haven't been looking at Moon
I haven't
recently.
looked at Moon lists in weeks. No.
Okay.
We'll look at that on our own time, Mr. Oldale.
Gardevoir's A tier.
Gardevoir, yeah.
Probably. Or like top of B. No,
it's definitely A. Like, I don't know. I think Gardevoir's still like, you just need to respect. I'm gonna put it A.
Yeah.
Tentatively below Tina. My thoughts on Guardy, you're just working very hard for medium matchups to bad matchups. Like, Gardevoir, again, doesn't really auto-lose to anything. If your play is really tight, you're going to do well. But, like, if you lose game 1, you're kind of out of luck. If you win game 1, you're kind of being shady and timer stalling people. And you're playing, like, I mean, I guess Guardy's pretty consistent.
You could also just win both games because your deck's good.
Yeah, that deck's good, but you're just, like, working really hard for middling matchups into everything.
That's why I don't think I could play Gardevoir because I don't have it in me to timer stall people.
Are we going to start calling people out on timer stalling? I'm a hater on that, but I don't need to go that deep into it. Gardevoir, obviously very powerful. It hasn't really been seeing the results lately. I think this will be the weekend for it to come back, though, because, like I said, the Charizard lists are not playing 3 Lost City anymore. Only playing 1 Lost City, actually.
2 Lost City is doable.
2 Lost City is fine. Maybe it's obviously going to help Gardevoir. 1 Lost City actually does nothing. I mean, it's good into other scenarios, like Lost Running 1-ofs and stuff. Like, it's still a good card to play in Zard, but I'm just saying, play more than 1 copy. I think easily you cut the Artisan out of Azul's list for a second Lost City. I'll take a slight consistency debuff for another matchup. But anyways, this is where Gardevoir, it kind of sucks. Like, I kind of feel it's hard not putting it in an S tier, but, like, it just isn't S tier on its results right now.
S-tier,
like, it's just not doing well.
What do you think about Deoxys V-Star?
I think an unnamed individual was probably just trying to be a little quirky. I don't think that's actually worth playing. I don't want to throw shade at anybody, but I do not think Deoxys V-Star is optimal. I haven't tried it, but, like, there's just no way that card is correct to be playing in your deck.
Deoxys V-Star, Iono, attach, KO Iron Hands.
I understand the line. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to hate on it blindly, but I don't, off first impression, think that's very much the thing you should be doing with your deck list. I think I want to start Lost Zone Box. I personally, like, there's no option for more than 1 Lost Zone thing on this tier list maker. We consider doing a different one, but this one just looks clean. I think Sablezard is the lowest of the 3.
There is literally Sablezard right here.
Oh, is there? No, that means like the Lost Box Charizard EX though.
No, we can just count that.
Yeah, we'll just count it as Sablezard. I think personally that Kyogre is better than Tina right now, but I can't really justify putting it above Tina based on results.
Put it above Tina.
Okay, I'll be controversial if you're okay with that. I was more so.
I'm okay with that.
I think the Kyogre, like I was testing yesterday, like I said, that's the sequencing segment deck today. The Kyogre with the 1/1 Tina line, the Moon, the hands, all that stuff. It's a bit of a pile, but Kyogre is really good. Let's look at this. Kyogre is good into not Charizard. It's good into Roaring Moon, good into Goldango, good into Miraidon, good into Palkia. Basically, any of these decks that don't play Manaphy, you kind of just auto win.
It's good into Mew.
Yeah, very good into Mew.
Good into Anti-Iron Valiant.
Yeah, basically nothing. And if you're not playing Manaphy, you're going to lose to Kyogre. Like, Kyogre takes 4 prize cards in one turn. It's nuts. It's very, very strong. People, for some reason, just kind of forget Kyogre exists. I don't know for why. It's just kind of like...
Very good card.
It hasn't been talked about, this format. Obviously, like, Charizard has the Terra ability built in, so that makes it kind of meaningless. They also play Manaphy Jirachi. But that's why you have Roaring Moon, Hands, and Tina V-Star, so you can take 2 prize cards.
Makes the matchup good.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't... You have to hit a lot in that matchup, but, like...
Pretty much the whole line can just be Starback Roy and Boss Pidgeot. Oh, my guitar pick's here. Sorry.
Nice.
I
nice.
didn't know.
That's okay. Guitar picks are epic.
I lost it. I found it.
But yeah, I think Kyogre is criminally underrated, especially, like, this weekend. If I wasn't so dead set on Urshifu and think that Urshifu is also so underrated and disrespected right now.
Probably top of A tier. If we're gonna be controversial,
I think Inteleon Urshi also top of A tier. Like, I think Intel Urshi is close to S. Like, with what you should be playing.
We could put it in S. We could just be controversial and
I'll
put
do
it in
it.
S.
I'll do it. Like,
your Gardevoir matchup.
We'll do it. I want to finish my thoughts on Kyogre first. Yeah, Kyogre. I think it's very similar, like, ish matchups for Tina, but you're gonna be, yeah, Kyogre's just really good. That's all I have to say. And then you just have like a toolbox of attackers for lots of different scenarios. You can push the Hands into other Lost Zone decks if you want. Into like Gardevoir, you have Hands. Like, you just have like options for every matchup. You have Gradient Greninja still, obviously. You have Sableye. You just have like literally every option that Lost Zone has ever really had in one pile. And it surprisingly works very well. I was skeptical.
I love the Tina V-Star line in the deck. It's so much better than the Palkia.
I love Abyss
Seeking on turn 1.
Yeah, being able to like go triple selecting Colress and then jet into your one Abyss Seeking and then just be able to like draw gate 280 is really good.
Very good.
But yeah, I could talk about Kyogre for a while. But yeah, let's go with Intel Urshi.
S tier.
I think bottom of S tier. It's not really like acceptable to put this above anything else.
You could totally do it.
Intel Urshi's broken. Obviously, we're a little biased. We both did very well recently, and we'll both very likely be playing Intel Urshi. I will 100%. I can't speak for Lucas.
I will be most likely. No, not even most likely. There is like a 99% chance. No, I am playing Inteleon Urshi for Portland.
We're leaking on ourselves. We're leaking. But yeah, Intel Urshi has exactly 2 bad matchups, Stall and Mew. And we may have figured out a way to beat Snorlax. We haven't quite confirmed yet. So that's in the woodworks. And then, yeah, your only bad matchup is really Fusion Mew. But you can cheese them with Spiritomb. The only issue with this deck, I mean, it's a little less consistent, but you're playing best of 3s.
No, your deck is not even...
Yeah,
I think people underestimate that Inteleon's fine.
I only lost one match to breaking because I bricked game 3, and I got kind of sacked. I think we talked about this. I got sacked out of game 2. But that was the only time in the whole event of 15 rounds I was like, wow, this deck sucks. Because you can brick one game in a best of 3. Intel Urshi drawing better than the opponent will win the match most of the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing Fusion Mew. There's just like, there is not a matchup on this list other than Fusion Mew that I'd be like, uh-oh. Or Snorlax too. I'd be like, uh-oh, my pairing's bad. I mean, I guess Lugia Archeops. I'm just going to do this right away. Lugia Archeops would be matchup, but I just don't understand why people aren't on the Urshifu train. Like, what's wrong? Why? I don't understand.
I've actually been seeing a lot of tier lists. I don't think I've seen a tier list that I can remember where Inteleon is below A.
Yeah. People keep putting it in A, but no one plays it. No one talks about it. I just don't get it. It's so good. It's like, I wouldn't be hyping it up for no reason. Like, I'm not that kind of guy just like hyping up a deck because it's like my pet deck or whatever. I don't really have a pet deck. I just play what I think is the best play for the weekend. True. And Inteleon Urshifu is...
I don't have a pet deck.
I have no reason to think it's not the best play. Because nothing has really changed since San Antonio other than Stall's a bit more popular. But
again, we have a tech for Stall.
Maybe have a tech. Well, no leaking that one, unfortunately.
Which is sad.
It is sad, but it's okay. We'll leak what we're playing. We can't leak the one of tech. But yeah, Inteleon Urshi is so good. And then
we can go Miraidon. I think Miraidon's probably
I think Miraidon is S tier as well.
Whoa.
We had it in S tier last week. I think it's part of the triangle.
Whoa.
You don't think so? I mean, maybe it goes down. Should we do this?
I mean, it's definitely not a good meta call like Inteleon.
I don't think it's like a good meta call. It's just like a
good deck.
It's a good deck, very consistent, especially with the Peony. Like, I played against the Peony guy. I only played against it once. That guy was cooking. He just went popping off against me. He was like Peony for the double generator. He's got Squawk. He's got Mew EX. Some of them even play 2 Mew EX, so they can do multiple restarts a turn. And they just like fire all cylinders, and they just always hit the turn attack with that list. Like, it's so hard not to win.
You barely ever whip.
So like, if you have a deck that can basically say, I will present turn 1 Iron Hands EX going second most of the games I play, That's a pretty strong
That's
option.
a pretty good deck.
The only thing really holding back Miraidon is use that abysmal Charizard matchup, but people have started like trying Tapu Koko EX, which might be a way to swing the matchup. But that also implies that Charizard isn't playing a Turo, which I think Charizard should be playing a Turo. But
I think if you're up to date with the meta, I think a Turo can just stop a bunch of the problems you're having.
Turo is really good in Charizard, but some people will play it, some people won't.
You could also just play... my dad was kind of cooking with the Minio Super Effective Glasses. It's probably not worth.
I mean, no, like people play that. Like that is like lost.
Minio Super Effective Glasses in Zard could be like kind of funny.
Oh, in Zard.
But it's not good. There's probably no way that it's better than just playing Turo.
Yeah, I don't think so. John was cooking though. Excuse me.
My dad always cooks. Like he brought like Turbo Tina V-Star to a tournament, which played like Pokestop and Atropius. Like he was not losing to Zard.
John is cooking. I don't know. This might be like a suspect place for Miraidon. I just think like Miraidon will probably be the second most played deck.
Yeah.
It probably won't have a very good conversion rate today too, but it will probably also have a copy in the top 8 like usual. I just think like Miraidon is a deck you should not be taking a loss to. Don't play Gardevoir. And it's a deck you should expect to hit multiple times. So I think that kind of implies it's S tier. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe it should be top of A. But like the S tier can't be Charizard and Inteleon. That can't
It
be
totally
S tier.
can.
I mean it could, but I don't know. I think it's pretty safe to put Miraidon here. We had it in S tier like last week.
I mean,
I don't know. We can change it at the end of it.
You also take a pretty... No, you actually don't take a bad matchup to Snorlax. You take like a 50-50 to Snorlax.
Yeah, no, if Miraidon's playing properly, you don't lose to Snorlax, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you can, obviously, but I think you're slightly favored.
Let's go B tier.
Yeah, I don't think that Radiant Charizard... We're going to say this is like the Radiant Zard, Sableye, like Sable Zard, and not like the Charizard EX.
No, this is Radiant Zard. On Play Limitless, Lost Box Charizard EX is Charizard B4 Comfey.
Okay, Charizard Comfey. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely better than Roaring Moon, sorry. This deck is interesting. Like, it won that regional a couple weeks ago in Europe. Stuttgart, was it? Okay. I haven't tested this very much.
You just get cooked by so many.
Yeah, like, how does this deck beat a Jirachi? Like, I don't understand.
It doesn't really beat a Charizard.
Yeah,
It doesn't really beat an Inteleon. It doesn't really... Like, it takes a fine Miraidon matchup. Lost Box matchups are fine because you're just really consistent, and then you just respond to the Iron Hands. But then they just go super out gate.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that convinced on this. I haven't tested it lots, but I just don't know how this really beats Jirachi, because your whole deck is Sableye. You don't really have any tricks.
Yeah.
You have 3 attacks. You have Lost Mine, you have Spitness, and you have Combustion Blast.
Don't forget about Devo TM.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like you're out into Zard. But like, how do you even set up the Zards to die if they just put Jirachi Manaphy down?
You don't.
Yeah, like how you can't even set the Devo.
And then you have to go Roxanne, Devo TM, and just hope that they miss Hurricane.
Yeah, and it seems like you're trying a lot harder than the other Lost Stone decks to do the thing that you should be doing.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad deck, but it's like a fine play. I wouldn't really encourage playing this though. Miraidon Flaffy. Do we need to put this twice?
It's not even that bad of a Zard matchup because you just go spit innocently. Roxanne, Devo TM. You're killing multiple Charizards.
I mean, yeah, that's just a lot of
You can
hitting.
also counter catch your spit, so you just don't take prizes.
You're getting Iota though. I guess yeah.
It's like the Intel plan. Well, you just don't take prizes.
Then you just play Intel instead. Anyways,
maybe it's
is Miraidon Flaffy like worse?
Wow, wait, Lost Box Zard.
I don't want to put this in A tier. This is worse than the other 2 Lost Stone decks for sure.
Fine. Miraidon Flaffy is definitely like
what's the difference? Is this? Are we just saying this is like the old list and this is Peony?
Yeah, I'm thinking that Miraidon Flaffy is actually not that bad.
Right now. I mean, they're like pretty similar. Maybe I'll do like this. Like
Path is good.
Yeah,
Path is good. Just Path and Zard is like your only way to win that matchup.
I just don't know if you should be sacrificing like the god tier consistency of Peony for like maybe Path sacking somebody. I think if you like averaged it out, like the amount of times that just killing something turn 1 versus like Judge Path and maybe killing something turn 1, like I just feel like if you average that out, it would be like pretty similar outcomes. Do you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree. Sorry, I was looking at the bottom right of our screen where it said that there's snow on Tuesday. Sorry.
14 centimeters in Vancouver is actually a lot.
Okay, but, so I think that probably makes sense.
I don't know, like I would not.
Miraidon Peony is like god tier. Like
yeah,
oh my god,
you hit attack very easily.
Insane.
It's pretty sick. It looks really fun to play.
Yeah,
I want to play that to like a League Cup or something because it looks like a blast.
Remember when you played Miraidon when nobody was playing Miraidon to a cup
did,
and you won that cup?
I did. No, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. Yeah. I was playing that with like Reggie Lecky, VMAX, and Lost Cities. That deck was actually really good at the time. This was just before Worlds.
Yeah, and then you got me thinking about it.
I got mad Twitter likes for that.
W.
Yeah, all you gotta do is play a slightly off meta deck and win a league challenge.
And then everyone's like,
Twitter's
"Oh my gosh, you're
100
crazy!"
likes, 100 likes,
100 likes, 30 retweets, or
yeah,
whatever.
literally. But yeah, I don't really see a huge reason to play Miraidon Flaffy over the Peony version. Like maybe Lucas is right with like some Path to the Peak shenanigans.
Yeah, that's like your only way to beat this Zard matchup.
Yeah,
it depends.
You also just have the out of like, okay, I'm gonna Iron Hands EX you turn 1, and if you don't hit Candy, then I do just win. Like that's also like an option. So
Yeah.
They usually have Candy though. But anyways, Chen Pao C tier?
B tier.
No.
B tier.
B tier?
B tier.
I think Roaring Moon is better than Chen Pao.
It takes good matchups into a lot of the top field if you're consistent.
If you're consistent.
Yeah, well, okay, that's why I put it in B tier.
Yeah.
If this was a consistent deck, this would go A for sure.
I still not like. Why was Chen Pao so good last format? Like, why don't we just cut? I say this every week. I should just try it. Cut Iron Hands. Cut all the shenanigans. Just go back to the old list that was doing well. Like that list before the set came out was top 8ing. Basically every week there was a regionals. There was one in top 8. I just don't see why.
Ask Jared Grimes. He's the Chen Pao player.
Grimes? That's true. He still plays it and gets like day 2 finishes and stuff. But yeah, like the current iteration of Chen Pao, something is not working. There's like less Chen Pao in day 2 than Lugia sometimes. It's just like
insane.
Yeah, Lugia is really bad. I don't know if there was an F tier Lugia and Golden would be in it, but I don't know. I think I would still put Chen Pao in C tier.
I've honestly been thinking about this. Goldango is worse than Cloth, and Cloth is C tier. And Cloth is C tier.
Yeah.
No, Goldango is better than Cloth, and Cloth is C tier.
No, I would. Cloth won a League Cup in Iowa. PokeDuel's TikTok lost to Cloth in the finals of a League Cup last weekend. Cloth is busted.
Goldango was better than Cloth.
I disagree.
Okay.
So Chen Pao C tier, I guess. I'd like to put it in C tier myself. Lucas wants it B.
I mean, I guess you could put it C.
Let's go.
The results is probably not that good, but if you find,
I'm also gonna bump Miraidon Fluffy down to B.
Okay.
I think A tier is getting a little too bloated. I'll do it like this.
No, it goes above
Mew Genesect, I think, is A, and Fusion Mew is above Mew Genesect right now. Do you disagree with that?
I'm sorry, I'm stretching. Yeah, it's probably good. I agree with that.
Yeah,
you just kind of get cooked by Zard.
That's the problem. Like Mew looks so enticing until you look at how much Zard is in the room and your abysmal win rate against Zard.
I mean, Judge Path is a good win.
Yeah, I mean it's
Zard.
fine, but like, I think you just kind of have to be playing Fusion Mew. There's a lot of people playing Tomb right now, because Mew is getting more popular. And Fusion Mew doesn't really care about Tomb. You could also do like the shenanigans like we kind of talked about last week with like playing a couple of Fusion Energy in Double Turbo Mew.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, just play Meloetta. Like, why are you like, you're kind of like halfway in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of have enough of the disruption package from Double Turbo Mew as Fusion Mew to kind of function. You also make up for the disruption a little bit by just like taking KOs is a bit of disruption in itself. So...
True.
Yeah.
Turn 1 KOs are quite disruptive.
I think they're pretty interchangeable, but I think if I was playing Mew this weekend, I'd probably be on the Fusion train just because I like beating Spiritomb. But yeah, Mew beats pretty much...
On this tier list other than Inteleon?
Miraidon's playing Spiritomb right now.
Yeah.
Giratina should be playing Spiritomb right now. Those are two like really bad matchups if they're playing Tomb, if you're Double Turbo.
Yeah.
I mean, Miraidon's probably still not horrible, but Tina with a Tomb is like unwinnable, even for Fusion, because they just go Path and Tomb, and you're like, oh. So yeah, I think Fusion Mew is like a great deck if you just ignore the little Charizard logo on the top left. You look at everything else. The Roaring Mew matchup's even fine.
Fusion Mew definitely takes like probably a similar matchup to Charizard than Mew Genesect, except it plays Ice Cube.
Yeah, so you just have like a little bit more, like you have different tricks. Like you don't have as much Judge Path. Like you're still playing 2 Path and a Judge, so it's still like a possible.
Judge. I think
2
Judge.
Path. Okay, I think I agree. I would want more Judges. I'm just not super familiar with Fusion Mew lists right now.
I think most of them are playing 2 Judge, 2 Path. I think.
Yeah, I think like 2 Judge, 2 Path is great. You need to be disrupting Charizard. That's the only out. But yeah, Mew is a great play this weekend. I would not fault anyone for playing Mew. Just dodge Zards and you'll have a good run.
Yeah, you will.
And you can still beat Zard. It's just like obviously your worst matchup.
So let's go ahead and put Snorlax on B.
B, yeah, I think I'd be happy with this and then Snorlax, Pidgeot.
And A.
I think this is fine.
Snorlax is definitely A. Snorlax, Pidgeot is definitely A.
Just look at how bloated A is getting. We'll just have to do some rearranging of tiers. I mean, sure, maybe I'll humor you, put it in the bottom of A. Stall.
It's probably better play than Mew.
I disagree. Like,
better than DTE Mew.
Let's just look at stall. Like stall, you have
Good Zard matchup.
very good matchup.
Insanely good Zard matchup.
Pretty even right on. Good Inteleon Archie. You're not super happy to see Lostone. You're really unhappy to see Giratina.
Gardevoir matchup's fine.
Gardevoir matchup's fine. Mew matchups are not great.
They're fine.
Fusion Mew is better than Double Turbo, but I would be playing Turo in Double Turbo right now, I think. So if Double Turbo Mew is playing Palpad, 3 Judge, 3 to 4 Path, 2 Switch Cart, 1 Escape Rope, and Turo.
And Devo TM? Because someone's still playing Devo TM?
Yeah, so I don't think that Snorlax is ever beating Mew right now. Maybe Fusion Mew because they have less tricks, less switch cards, but they also have fusion energies so they can get around block. I don't think that your Mew matchup's very good as Snorlax. I mean, you guys have Como and Tomb, but...
yeah, Como and Tomb's fine.
Yeah.
That's how you beat it. No, we're putting this in A tier. Put it in A. Put it like above Mew.
No.
Fine.
I think Snorlax is a bit of a roulette deck. You're going to hit, obviously, free matchups, but then you're going to hit matchups that are utterly unwinnable, like Tina. I just, myself, would be so not comfortable playing stall into a tournament where Tina should have won, or was very close to winning. Yeah, Tina is very popular right now. Tina is like a legitimate auto loss for Snorlax. I don't think, if you are playing against a competent Tina player as Snorlax, you have no outs, I don't think. Do you...
Competent, yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't think Snorlax has a way to win the game if the opponent is competent.
I mean, well, you just have to go...
Yeah, I guess you can like Iono Fang type things.
Luxray, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, like 4 of their switch cards are Jets, so they're not even Fang snipeable. So, it makes you Sydney them. Yeah, I mean, it'd be really tough. I mean, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it is like so hard to beat a competent Tina player as stall. And I just would not be into that, especially when you're taking like... Think of the top 3 decks are going to be Tina, Zard, Miraidon. You're taking auto to Zard, auto loss to Tina, and a mid matchup to Miraidon. So when you phrase it like that, it seems a little less appealing. But yeah, like, and then like, you're scared to hit lost on decks. You're happy to hit basically everything else, except for Miraidon's pretty even. It's just like, stall, I think is good. But major point of this, I think the Pidgeot stall is better than the regular no Pidgeot. Pidgeot is sweet.
Pidgeot's sick.
It lets you cut the Pidgeot V because then you don't have to like be having your whole deck in your hand to be looping, because you can just search the cards out individually. Like you can go grab Yelchi or Silene or just grab whatever you need for the turn. So it makes you like your one of text like way more impactful. Like playing Sydney and Giacomo, those kind of cards are like way better when you can just cherry pick them and stream them. Like it's really easy to stream them back to back turns if you need to. Like you can just go Palpad for the supporter and then quick search it back out.
Yeah.
Whereas Snorlax without it is just kind of like a random, what did I instant charge into? Plus like regular Snorlax stall is really poopy when they have Spiritomb. Because it has Fade Out, so you can't lock it in the active, and it shuts off your Rotom, which is your only draw engine.
Yeah. Woohoo!
So Pidgeot also kind of gets around that tech a little bit more. And you also have the out of actually killing things. It just has like a lot more options. You have Luxray, so you can cheese people that way. I think it just kind of addresses a lot of the weaknesses that traditional Snorlax stall did have before. You just have like a bit more counterplay. So if you're playing Snorlax stall, I would highly suggest you play Pidgeot EX in your list. But that is quite all right. This Arceus.
C tier.
Yeah. I'll put it above Chempal. Humor Mr. Stratford here.
Sorry.
He got day 2. Him and his brother both got top 64 with the Gigas Arceus.
Went 5 through 1, right?
I'm not sure.
Makani definitely went 5 through 1, yeah.
I'm sad that Makani does worse with his Arceus piles than the friends he gives a list to.
It wasn't Nathan who made it?
I don't know. I just kind of assume Makani makes them, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's
Nathan made it. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways, Arceus is fine. We saw like the Arceus Regigigas pile. Get 2 top 64 placements in San Antonio, so that kind of proves that Arceus is alive and well. But keep in mind that that singular group of Utah probably accounts for all of the Arceus players in the United States of America.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're kind of hard carrying the Arceus results. They kind of refuse to play anything else, which is fine. Arceus is awesome. You just probably couldn't convince me to play Arceus right now because it's pretty linear. You do 180 damage, and you have 280 hit points, and you hope that works. Into Zard, it probably works if you're playing healing cards. Miraidon, you could probably get out aggroed, because going second, they're just going to 220 you. That's actually really rough. Into Urshi's horrible matchup. You're probably not super happy to see Lost on decks. Tina's a bad matchup. Guardy doesn't seem great.
You're only on Urshi's to Zacian.
True.
We're
but yeah,
just
like
talking about Uncius, right?
yeah, I'm just strictly talking about that. And there's other things like I saw someone like win a online tournament with like Arctina. I don't think that's really playable right now. It's like it's too slow. Like Arceus is just too slow now. Like when you have Miraidon as a top deck, you have Roaring Moon as a decent deck, like, and then you have Fusion Me. Like you have 3 decks conceivably that can knock out your Arceus V going second.
Yeah.
Which is suspect. And then Charizard, like, sure is a fine matchup. You have Paths, you have Judges, you have maybe Sharon's Care. I don't remember if they were playing that. But, like, that's tough if they draw a Path and you're not playing Healing. I'm not sure how your Snorlax matchup goes. You're just, like... Arceus is always, just by the nature of it, like a 50-50-ish deck. And then, like, it's just... It doesn't appeal to me, these matchups.
Yeah, the matchups
I just think you're again, working too hard for medium matchups, yeah. I don't think we need to talk much more about Arceus.
Okay, Valiant C tier.
So I'll probably put it above Arceus. Sure, I'll do it like this.
I'd probably...
Yeah, I think it's better than Arceus. Anti-Iron Valiant, my opinions haven't changed. I think this is just a worse version of Intel Urshifu. I don't see any reason why you would play that over Inteleon.
Yeah.
Unless you do.
Yeah.
You have a little bit more aggressiveness, like you can maybe donk people, that's kind of silly. But you just have like way less actual damage counter placement. It's like you're way weaker to hand disruption. You don't have any HP, so you're just getting knocked out every turn because your biggest HP is 230, and it's usually 210 because you have to put...
No, bravery charm.
Oh, yeah, I guess you have charms.
And you have card as well.
Yeah, you're just like working really hard to like two-shot other things and like spread. It's just like... It just feels like a weaker version of Inteleon Urshifu. And when Inteleon Urshifu is so strong right now, I don't see why you would just play a nerfed version.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say.
Cloth.
C tier.
I am gonna spite the Chen Pao.
That's crazy.
Cloth is like kind of cool. Like you probably beat Zard. Like actually, you probably beat
Miraidon.
Are we cooking? Cloth? You have like no Guardy matchup.
You have no Intel matchup.
You have no Mew matchup, no Intel. Lost Zone matchups are probably fine because you're just like swinging with the Cloth turn 1.
Yeah.
Snorlax stall maybe is fine because you're just hitting for weakness. I don't know how you like what you'd have for boss targets. Oh yeah, that's true. Never mind. But honestly, Cloth is kind of cooking.
I know you just spicy seasoned curry and burn yourself.
Well, you only have 4 copies of that though, and then the burn wears off pretty frequently.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, honestly, Cloth, I kind of see why people play it. Again, Mr. at PokeDuels TikTok lost to a Cloth player in the finals of a League Cup last weekend.
Nerd.
And he was playing Lost Zone because Cloth is kind of like a Lost Zone killer, honestly. It's got 120, you can't cram it, and it's just killing you starting turn 1.
Do we know if Nick Alvarez is a Lost Mine podcast listener? He was retweeting our
early
he retweets
our stuff, so we'll see. Maybe I'll DM him. See, we shouted you out multiple times on the podcast this week.
Nick Alvarez, if you
more so, we clowned him for losing to Cloth.
Yeah,
but
if you watch, message Landen.
Yeah. Yeah. Last deck, Palkia. This got top 4.
Probably B tier.
I don't have any like.
There's no reason to put it like not above Lost Foxard.
Sure.
People just kind of underrate it.
Yeah, I mean, I also have no experience really with the Palkia deck. I know we talked about it like a little bit because it did well. It also top 4 at a regional in Europe. I think this is a pretty similar list. One of the biggest changes I really liked though is just playing 2 of the Calyrex V.
Yeah.
And a Super Rod, so you could technically go double V max in one game. Miraidon staring down the big Calyrex is spooky. It's spooky to be sure.
Calyrex.
Yeah. Which is funny. It should be cold. The spooky one is the psychic type. But yeah, Palkia seems okay. Like your Zard matchup, sure. Miraidon seems a little sussy because you're weak to lightning. Oh no, because you have Calyrex, you're fine. Not sure how the Inteleon Urshifu matchup would go. I honestly don't really have much of an opinion on this. I think Palkia is just kind of, like a beat stick deck that has a couple tricks. You have like Radiant Greninja, so you have that. And then just have like decent 2-shot options with Palkia. You've got 1-shot options with Calyrex into some things. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't really understand Suicune V though. I don't get it. Oh, he was zoning out. I had to wake up Lucas at 8 a.m. this morning. I found him sleeping with his alarm clock like this as a pillow, so he would not wake up or sleep through his alarm. Still managed to sleep.
No, it literally wasn't that.
Explain yourself. I woke up and you were cuddling your alarm clock and you were sleeping, and it was past when it went off.
Because I had already turned off my alarm clock, so I woke up at 8:01 a.m., turned off my alarm clock, and conked.
bruh.
with my alarm clock.
He literally was cuddling the alarm clock. Like, I'm not joking. Menace. I took a pic, but I won't flame you like that.
What? Bro, you can post that. I don't care. You posted me with clay dolls on
That's
my
true.
face in the same...
If anyone is looking for a good laugh, scroll through my Twitter. There is a pic of Lucas sleeping in the Pittsburgh hotel room with 5 clay dolls on his face.
You can post the alarm clock photo. I don't care.
He was talking about how broken the clay doll was, so I got a bunch of them and I put them like in his glasses while he was sleeping and all over his face. It was really funny.
Okay, wait. So what were you saying about podcast?
I don't know. It seems like a decent beat stick deck. It's got some tricks, like obviously the Radiant Greninja is very good, and they have like Calyrex and just like some other attackers.
Yeah, it
like,
has tricks.
it's like
And
a
you
toolbox
also
deck.
you kind of have that turn 1 aggression with the Suicune.
How are you attacking with Suicune though? You play.
Greninja, Water Energy, Melanie, Suicune, attach,
So you're hitting Switch.
Yes.
You're hitting Melanie
Yes.
with energy and discard, and you're hitting attach
Yes.
on turn 1
Yes.
going second.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good, brother.
Sounds good.
But yeah,
Do
like
they play Luminion?
I think
they do, yeah.
Um,
So you can get turn 1 attack, but then you're putting on 2 prizes.
yeah, you're putting on a Suicune and a Lumineon. They're just gonna get schlacked. But anyways, like, I think we could maybe rearrange some things here. Oh, this actually seems pretty tight. Like, A tier's a little bloated, but there's just this format's very wide open. So I think there's just like a lot of acceptable plays. Like, there's nothing on this
There's
list.
like a pattern. I love it. A tier, and then there's one less deck in B tier, and then there's one less deck in C tier.
True.
No, yeah, I feel like this list is correct. I wouldn't want to put Snorlax Pidgeot in B tier. And I wouldn't want to put Roaring Moon in C tier. And I wouldn't want to put Chien-Pao in D tier. And I wouldn't want to put Intel in A tier.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of susses me out, like the Gardevoir placement. But yeah, Gardevoir just has not had the results to like justify it staying in S tier.
Sorry, Braden.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Renge. Even though I don't know, does he not like it when I call him Renge?
It's
I can't
fine.
tell.
Yeah, we can
Sometimes he
pass
likes it,
that.
sometimes he doesn't. But anyways, yeah, I think this is the tier list. I think we can call it at that.
Yeah.
I don't think we really need to rearrange much. Maybe like B tier is kind of out of order, but not even.
Snorlax Stalk could probably be behind Palk. But
No,
probably not.
like Palkia. I mean, it also has something to say. There was only like 2 Palkias in day 2 of San Antonio, and one of them made, was there 3?
3.
One of them made top 4. The
And
other
then
2 were top
2
128s or whatever.
bad.
Yeah.
We're doing bad.
But like that's kind of like something to say. Like if there's only 3 of them and one of them made top 4, I mean you could also have like a lucky run, but like you always have to have a lucky run to make top 8. Like you're not having a bad day and making cut at the same time. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that list, Mr. Oldale.
I'm pretty happy with this list as well.
Maybe I'll recap it. Totally playing Inteleon Urshifu, 100% transparency. I will be rolling up with Inteleon Urshifu Rapid Strike deck.
If I don't roll up with Inteleon Urshifu, something catastrophic happened the night before, and I'm running Tina most likely.
Yeah.
Something like that. So there is a very, very high chance I play Urshifu.
Yeah.
But if I don't play Urshifu, don't hate on me, please.
I am concrete. I am locking it in. Yeah. We're leaking. We're leaking hardcore.
Okay, you know what? I'm playing Urshifu. I'm locking. I'm playing Urshi.
Okay.
I said this last time on the San Antonio tier list, and I was like, yeah, I might play Urshi. And then it was like, I play Urshi. And we were in the hotel room. And earlier on in the day at the airport, I played terribly with Urshifu.
I was a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie.
So I was like, okay, I will play one more game with Urshifu against Charizard. And I will see how I do. If I misplay, like, more than 2 or 3 times, I will just play Zard. I played Urshifu. I think I misplayed probably once or twice. And I rolled into San Antonio with it.
He got 2nd place. Big dog. But yeah, I think that recaps all of our opinions on the Portland metagame. Guess we'll see how our predictions do. Yeah, I think... Well, our prediction S tier Inteleon will be good because we're both winning.
Yeah.
I have a title to defend here. I am the reigning Portland champion of last year, so I've got to uphold that here. I can't be letting any of these people take my title from me. So Inteleon Urshifu is going to pull through and get me the dub this weekend for sure.
Yep, me too. Me as well.
Yeah.
I've won Portland before in juniors, so I need to do it in seniors.
Yeah.
My goal, win Portland in juniors, seniors, and masters.
That would go hard. That would go hard. So yeah, Lucas is on a streak of a 1st and a 2nd in a row. We're gonna keep that streak up. Yeah.
I was thinking about it in bed, and theoretically, if I'm going to 9 more events, because you're going. Okay, so after this event, there's Charlotte, Knoxville.
Yeah.
And then there is Vancouver.
Yeah.
EUIC.
Yep.
So that's 4.
We're not going to Florida.
We're not going to Florida. LA.
Yep.
Then there is NAIC.
Yep.
What else am I missing?
Indianapolis.
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 I'm not sure.
I counted 9 in bed. What happened?
What is this? Okay, what's the point of this though?
That if I made finals at 50% of the events I go to, then theoretically, and I won 50% of those, then I will win 2 more events and I will final 2 more events in this season.
Just do it.
Which, by the way, would equal to a grand total of like $13,000 in the year.
Lucas would be balling.
Yeah.
Lucas has been dreaming about the placements last night, obviously. That's why he slept in. He was dreaming about winning more regionals.
I was just in bed. I was like, mathematically, how many more regionals should I theoretically be doing well at if I keep up this rate?
Yeah. So.
But if mathematically, if we restart the chain now, then I'm going to top 32 and top 32.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyways, do you have any more closing thoughts, Mr. Odell, before we hit him with the
really.
classic
Who's
Lost
got
Mine
outro?
I did intro, so you got the outro
Okay.
today, boss.
We good?
Yeah, let's do it.
You have been listening to the Lost Mine Pokemon Trading Card Game Podcast. Thank you all for listening. Have a good week. Enjoy the Victory Road Series tournaments.
Bye.